First day there, the very first fight I saw was two dudes were arguing, and I didn't know what they were arguing with, and they kept on saying, man, I'm gonna take your boy, I'm gonna take your boy. They were arguing over another man, right? In Tennessee prison, we call them punks. So he's like, I'm gonna take your punk from you, man. I'm gonna take your punk. And one dude grabbed a mock ringer. They were in Tennessee, in Florida, you call them housemen. In Tennessee, we call them rock men. They were mopping the floor and stuff. So dude grabbed the mop ringer and went to chasing and beating that dude with it. And that was like my first experience of a fight in Tennessee prison. And I thought, wow, first thing, these dudes are fighting over another dude. White boys, and they were gonna come down, there was the Aryan Nation, and they were gonna come down and kill him the next day. So we rounded up a few guys, and we basically had a whole standoff on the yard with these guys, man. And I thought that I was gonna die that day. Like, I was prepared to do it. I was like, dang, man, it's my brother. I can't let him just kill him, so I'm gonna have to go with him. And we had about 4 or 5 real deal straight up killers riding with us. And luckily, man, the president of the Aryan Nation stepped up and said, well, this is gonna be a one-on-one fight. So in Florida, when I come to Florida, they don't care. There is no honor amongst thieves. There is no nothing. The gangs don't care nothing. The gangs are the ones robbing everybody. And then they wonder why they getting caught up all the time. They don't get it, right? So it was a stark contrast from a Tennessee prison politics to Florida politics. And it was just so watered down here in Florida. Like it's like the Wild Wild West. I mean, anything goes. There's no respect. There's no nothing. Gang members are killing their own kind. It's nuts. And I really thought, man, I was in some serious situations, man. And I kind of wondered sometimes if I was going to make it out.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testo with multiple cases before the court.
Yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, and how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration. So Forever Convict family, once again, we are on the journey to 50,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. Share this channel with somebody who hasn't.
What's going on, man? Happy New Year. Today is January 1st, 2025. Right now, I'm looking crazy, bro, but it's all good. I'm on my way to go link with my dog, Ty Arnold. So Ty, I believe he did 10 years in Florida Department of Corrections in the Florida prisons. And it's actually pretty interesting how I linked with him. It's very common that, a lot of people, via social media who are incarcerated reach out to me, whether they're doing it, by illegal means or just like having their family or friends, DM me on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. That happens all the time, which I'm super thankful for. And I try to respond to everybody who reaches out just to encourage them, to be there for them, to support and assist them in their transition home or throughout their bid, however I can. But Ty did something that was super unique, and I thought it was pretty creative, and I thought it was very wise of him. So in the Florida prisons, they got kiosks, in which a lot of prisons and jails got them now, to where you can like have video visitation on the video kiosk. But in Florida, you can even send what they call videograms. It's like a 30-second video clip, from the kiosk. You can send it to your people on the outside, and then they also too can send you videograms, from their phone, computer, whatever, for 30 seconds. So whenever I first was put on the inmate tablets and have my own podcast, Ty had sent me a videogram of him like showing the tablet and showing like my video was trending like on the trending section, and was encouraging me and just shouting me out. And he sent it to like his family or friend, whoever, and then they DM'd me that video on Instagram. So I thought that was real dope. I thought that was cool. And then he just continued to follow up with me through whoever it was who was reaching out to me via DM, through Instagram. Shout out to anybody incarcerated, man. If you reach out to me, do so on Instagram. I'm never on Facebook. So much spam on Messenger. Side note. So anyways, he was getting out and moving to Tampa. So he wanted to get involved in block hustle and ministry and things like that. So right when he got out, man, he tapped in with me, bro. And we connected via phone call. And immediately he hopped on small group discipleship, which we have every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's just a Zoom call that convicts throughout the nation, we hop on, we pray, we fellowship, we get in the word, and most importantly, we hold each other accountable in our walk and our transition out here in society following Jesus. So he's been a part of Block Hustle ever since he's been out. And but today's actually the first day I'm going to meet him. So I'm pulling up on him right now in downtown Tampa, like specifically the Ybor area. And of course, he's gonna pull up on him and get his prison stories, his testimony, spend some time with him, fellowship, build, chop it up. And so yeah, man, so I'm looking forward to y'all hearing Ty's crazy prison stories, and just his experience doing over 10 years of prison, but also as well, most importantly, the redemption side of it and how God transformed his life throughout the chain gang. Stay tuned. All right, he's walking up right now. I got to capture the moment. Seeing him for the first time, pulling up on him. He's walking up right now. Ty, what's good, bro?
Praise God, man.
What's going on, G? Good to meet you, bro. You all right?
Yes, sir.
God bless What's up, bro? God bless you, too. Ty, bro. So first of all, man, honored to meet you, bro, and to see you on this side of the fence, dog.
Amen.
But let's go ahead and get to it, bro. Share with the viewers, man, your name, where you're from, and I guess let's go ahead and start with the story about your upbringing and kind of what led you into a lifestyle of crime, or just the process of growing up that eventually led you into prison.
Gotcha. So my name is Ty Arnold. I was born in Oklahoma City, and I grew up in a decent little family. I mean, there were some issues there, but you know, I really didn't want for anything. I raced motocross growing up. My mom married a guy that raced motocross, so he got me into it. And so it created a drive for adrenaline in my life. So I always liked excitement. I always liked to do things, you know, going fast. Stuff like that was just, you know, I just had a strong desire to do that stuff from an early age. And but when I was a teenager, they split up. And long story short, my biological dad came and got me, and he moved me to Memphis. And he was super abusive. So it was a stark contrast from that kind of wholesome family and doing the things that I wanted to do. And then I went to be with him and was stripped out of that family, and was enduring all this physical, emotional, mental abuse and stuff. So it shocked me. It shook my world, and I really, I didn't know what to do, you know. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel wanted even. And I just started, you know, hanging out with people that would accept me. I was just looking for anybody to accept me, you know. So it kind of led me to a different kind of crowd. I started getting involved in crime, little street gangs and stuff, and drugs and all that, smoking cigarettes and all that stupid stuff as a teenager. And I started going to juvenile, in and out of juvenile, and running away from home, taking knives to school, getting caught with drugs, fighting, all that old stupid stuff. And it just kind of got me in the system, and I got used to it. And I started getting in the party scene, man. I always wanted to be loved, and I just wanted happiness, you know? So I just started looking for it in places like nightclubs and drugs and women and all these other things. And that was pretty much my upbringing, my life until I became a man. And at 19 years old, listening to some crazy rap music, man. And I put a gun in my hand and decided I was gonna go rob a Fazoli's restaurant. And I did that, got caught, went to prison on a 9-year sentence, did 5 years on that and got out. And I wanted to do right, man. That prison sentence, it hurt me at a young age like that. Going in at 19 years old, did 5 years, and I wanted to just, you know, get out and live right, but I didn't know how to live right because I ain't never lived right. You know, not as a man at least. I didn't know how to be a man. I didn't know how to be responsible. I mean, I knew how to be like, you know, tough and stuff like that, but I didn't know how to be a man in other ways. And so I got out there and started hanging out with the same old friends, doing the same old stuff. And it led me right back to a life of crime, you know? And I don't know what was wrong with me. It was exciting to me to hit licks and do stuff like that. And I focused on it a lot, and that just became my life. I just thought about the next lick and how I could hit it and what I could do. And, you know, getting drugs and partying, man. And I just, you know, surrounded myself with all these people that had all this energy and stuff, because I was empty inside, you know, my emotional well-being and my spiritual well-being and state of mind and stuff, man, I was just dry. So I would always try to gather other people around me that were high energy and stuff. So that's what really drew me to the club scene. So I was just trying to surround myself with people that had all this high energy, like the club scene and stuff like that. And but when I left that and I was at home by myself, I was just super lonely, man. You know, I just felt empty inside. I mean, even sometimes at the clubs, I would look at the clubs and see people out there dancing, and there was just this sense of emptiness. Like, what's the point to all this? So I was just on this search for something deeper, you know, but I was still caught up in the drug scene and the crime and all that stuff. And I, you know, running around in the streets, you get warrants out, so you're on the run. I went on the run for several years. And I was just stressed out, man, because I just wanted peace and calm, and I didn't know how to get it. I didn't know how to obtain it. I didn't really have anybody to show me either, you know, what to do. I didn't have anybody to mentor me in my life, man. I was just searching. And that search just kept on leading me down these bad paths, man, you know, just these empty paths, man. So
hold on, let me interrupt you, bro. So you went to prison more than once?
3 times in 3 different states.
Okay, all right. So before we go on to the next one, sorry to interrupt your story. I just want to get a little bit more details. So you robbed a restaurant and they gave you 9 years?
They gave me 9 years.
And what'd you do on the 9?
I did 5 on the 9.
Okay, so you
Tennessee.
got out and then, all right, my bad. All right,
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify. All right, so keep going.
Yes. So anyways, so now I kind of met up with this girl, and we're just kind of just going all over like the southeastern part of the United States, man, and just living out of a car and just kind of going to places, hitting licks. And we'd burn up one city and hit a bunch of licks there, and then get some money and go to another city. And that was my life for a little while. Then I got caught up in Kentucky, and I got a 4-year sentence for fraudulent use of credit card, several charges on that. And did 2 years on that. So I did 2 years on that charge. I got out, paroled out to a halfway house in Louisville, Kentucky. And I did pretty good for a minute. Like, again, man, during my prison sentence, all I thought about was like, man, okay, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do something different this time, man. I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna do it right. But again, I didn't even know how to live right, right? Because all I knew was the life of crime. All I knew was the streets. All I knew was the parties and the clubs and whatever else, you know, that temporary satisfaction in life. And but I wanted to do right. I just didn't know how. And so I got out, man. I got a job waiting tables at Red Lobster. Was doing okay, man. Got me a little car. Met a girl. Moved in together, man. She had kids. I always wanted a family, but never had any kids of my own. But anyway, she had a couple kids, man. So it was like an instant family. It was great. And I was kind of actually doing okay for a little while. And through that, she ended up cheating on me. And when I caught her cheating on me, it crushed me, because I thought I had everything I wanted. I was like, man, here I am. I'm doing right in life. I'm finally doing what I want to do. I'm finally had some kind of sense of happiness a little bit. And but I didn't know how to deal with it. I hadn't developed any kind of positive coping skills yet in my life, and to deal with, you know, failure and setbacks and things like that. So I shot down to Florida. I had a couple motorcycles and a truck and stuff, and I sold everything. I kept my car, and I shot down to Florida, Destin, Florida. Found somebody on Craigslist looking for a roommate, Came down here with a couple $1,000s in my pocket, started waiting tables again, but I was crushed. I was heartbroken, man. So I fell right back into the party scene trying to cope with my pain. And, that just, of course, I was never a functioning addict, so I could never hold a job. So I lost my job, and that led to a life of crime to, pay what little bills I had and feed my addictions and stuff. And now I'm back in the streets. Now I'm back hitting licks again. Now I'm back doing the same old stuff that took me back to prison 2 times already. And now I'm in a whole nother state. I kept on thinking changing states, kept on going to different places. I could start fresh. But, I heard somebody say something one time. It said, everywhere you go, there you are. So I didn't realize, like, it was me that needed to change, not my environment. But, so I came down to Florida, man, and on that heartbreak, and I didn't care. I just didn't care, man. I went on this depressed, drug-induced crime spree down here, all the way from Pensacola to Key West and back up and down. I did that for about 2 years, and I became homeless, and I was just living on the beach and living on rooftops and in the woods, or every now and then I'd get enough money to get a hotel and stuff like that. And I would just hit these licks, man, and go in and out of strip clubs because I would try to find drugs. And so the best place I knew to find drugs were the strip clubs. So I'd hit a lick, go to a strip club in whatever little city I was in Florida, find the drugs and hang out, and same thing again the next day. Wake up, go hit a lick, do the same thing, go to another strip club, find some drugs. And that was my life, man. And then finally, and I did that for a couple years all over Florida, and finally I got caught. And when I got caught, they did my fingerprints and my DNA and stuff, and it just popped all over Florida, all these unsolved crimes, all the way literally from Key West to Pensacola, one end of the state to the next. And man, I thought my life was over. I mean, I had charges all over, man. Some of them were PBLs. And I went to prison in Florida, man. I get hemmed up in Florida. I get caught, and everything come to an end finally. And so I had charges all over. I had burglary charges, grand theft charges, dealing in stolen property charges. I had armed burglary charges all over the place. I ended up first initially getting 2 years out of Pasco, and I was going to each county because I had charges in multiple counties, and I got 3 years out of Bay County. I got 10 years out of Okaloosa County. I had over 40 felonies across the state. And I ended up getting, basically 10 years was my largest sentence, and everything else was just bunched into that 10 years. So I did almost a solid 10 in the state of Florida, DOC.
Dang, bro. All right, so let's go ahead and let's rewind it all the way to your first prison bid. So what state did you go to prison in first?
Okay, so my first bid was Tennessee.
Tennessee, and how old were you when you went to prison?
I was 19 years old. I just turned 19, the month after I turned 19.
And you went to prison behind that robbery from the restaurant?
Behind the robbery. I got charged with aggravated armed robbery and 4 aggravated assaults for every person that was in the restaurant.
You said Tennessee, correct?
Yes.
All right, so
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis. All right, so go ahead and share with the viewers, man, what was it like your first day in a Tennessee prison? And then transition from your first day in the prison, what it was like, to just doing time in general in Tennessee, and you know how you did your time.
Got it. So I waited in the county jail for a year and a half to get my time. And during that whole time in the county jail, everybody told me, man, it's crazy in prison. They're going to try you. They're going to do all this type of stuff. And, so I'm hearing all these war stories. So I get there, and my first day in prison, they always told me, like, hey, the white guys are going to approach you, man, because they said it's super segregated there. The whites are with the whites, the blacks are with the blacks, the Chicos with the Chicos, this and that. So they're like, they're going to approach you, man. And I don't want to join up with nothing. That was just my whole thing. I was like, I'm a man, I'm going to stand on my own too. That was just my deal. So sure enough, I get there. I'm walking around the yard, my first day. I'm walking around the little yard. It's like a reception center there. And I see them. I see all the white guys bunched up over in their corner, and they're watching me. I can tell they're watching me. And every lap, I'm thinking they're going to approach me. And finally, about the third lap around the yard, they finally approached me. And they stepped to me, and they walked up to me, and basically asked me if I wanted to get down with their crew or whatever. And I respectfully, I told him, I said, man, no, I respect y'all, but I'm just trying to do my time and get up out of here, man. Trying to do my time on my own. So that was when I went in. That was my first day. Lots of crazy stuff happened.
So hold on, they just let you be?
Yeah, they let me ride.
Yeah.
Well, what they told me, they said, all right, man. They said, cool. They said, they respect that. They said, if I need any help, to come to them. If I ever got put in a tight spot, to come to them. But I knew that was just, a trap in itself. I wasn't trying to, if I went to them for help, and I got put in some tight spots, man. But I knew if I ever went to them for help, I was going to owe them. You know what I mean? That was a way for me to become one of them. And I didn't do that, man. So I just survived it on my own. Got in lots of fights, all kinds of crazy stuff, man. People trying to rob me, jump me, all that stuff. But I just dealt with it, man. I just dealt with it, I felt like I did this to my life. I put myself here. I can make it out, as long as nobody stabbed me to death or killed me. And I wasn't doing anything crazy to get, stuff like that done too. But people are going to try you in prison. It's going to happen.
What was probably some of the craziest stuff you seen in the Tennessee prisons? Were you at a minimum security, medium, max?
It was all three there, right?
Okay.
So a different
Mixed population?
Mixed population. They had the max over there at that unit. Then they had the work release right across the street and stuff like that. And I bounced around to all of them. But yeah, so some of the craziest things, man. I mean, my first day there, the very first fight I saw was two dudes were arguing. And I didn't know what they were arguing with. And they kept on saying, man, I'm gonna take your boy. I'm gonna take your boy. They were arguing over another man, right? In Tennessee prison, we call them punks. So he's like, I'm gonna take your pump from you, man. I'm gonna take your pump. And one dude grabbed a mop ringer. They in Tennessee, in Florida, you call them housemen. In Tennessee, we call them rock men. They were mopping the floor and stuff. So dude grabbed the mop ringer and went to chasing and beating that dude with it. And that was like my first experience of a fight in Tennessee prison. And I thought, wow, first thing, these dudes are fighting over another dude. So that was kind of shocking to me. But I heard all the stories in the jail. They told me that stuff was going to happen. And sure enough, boom, first day it starts playing out. And that was just the life every day, And I got involved, like I was a drug addict. So I go to prison as a drug addict, So I'm smoking weed, doing all the drugs, getting the cocaine and stuff like that. So I'm meeting the plugs and this and that. And I'm trying to move stuff around for them to make a little something here and there. And I had some family members that would send me money, so I was able to buy stuff. So, but when you get involved in that life, you're dealing with those people. They're going to try to take advantage of it. They try to say, oh, the money didn't hit, when you sent the money, right? So they play that game with you and they try to get over on you. You try to stand up to them. And you're dealing with gang members, you know what I mean? And they don't play. And anyways, long story short, man, I got involved in all that type of stuff throughout my prison sentence, my first prison bid in Tennessee. So,
what are some other like crazy, goofy, funny, weird, just memorable experiences throughout prison in Tennessee that you can remember your first bid? And you're young too. You said you're 19, right?
Yeah. Man, let me think for a minute. You're taking me back. You're taking me back 20-something years ago. Let me think.
Let's get to this alleyway to sun, bro.
I got you. So, we used to play volleyball, man. Tennessee prisons, volleyball is real big. So we got these sand courts and stuff. And it was like the white boys against the black boys. It was always super segregated, right? So we would always play. And it was just fun to do that, man. It was kind of a way to escape prison for a minute when you're doing that stuff. So we used to play these guys all the time, man. And one time, these older guys wanted to play us, and we were all young kids, fresh in prison. My little clique was, and we won every game. But these older guys wanted to play us one time, man, and we thought, yeah, right. And boy, they mopped us. It's a bunch of old guys, but they knew what they were doing though. They knew how to set and spike and stuff like that. And that was that's one memory I have at prison. Not all prison memories were bad.
Listen, if you've done any time, I'm talking about a county jail, state penitentiary, federal, or even drug programs, whatever. If you want to share your story on this channel, go ahead and email me at eithekingbooking. Go ahead and put your stories in the comments below. If there's anything that I talked about slightly, you want me to go more in depth on, or anything I haven't talked about at all, and it's a good idea, drop it in the comments. Let me know. And also remember, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. You can find my music on all platforms. I also have another channel, YouTube channel, my official artist channel, E.I. the King. And I also have another podcast. It's called Let Me Talk Bro, where I talk more so about my life, music, ministry, and all these things. Also, I have a Patreon with exclusive content. Everything is in the description below. So listen, man, till the next time, it's your boy, E.I. the King.